Good afternoon, everyone. This is James Carpenter with Country Living, and we're going to move some wood chips. And as you can see, the bucket on the tractor is not your normal bucket. That bucket is actually a snow removal tool, but I have subsequently found that it can be used in the dirt and on the gravel, actually, for different purposes. So what I'm doing here is I'm dragging that back a little bit, and then I'm getting my bucket set up. Now I'm setting the bucket down approximately an inch or so off the existing mulch, and what that's doing is kind of feathering it out and filling in any low spots. And then I'm taking it down to the end of the pile, and I'm actually going to make the pile longer, larger, whatever. But this pile of mulch is probably 2.5, 3 foot thick. There's quite a bit of mulch composting down there. Now I curl that bucket, I stick it down into the pile, and I back drag. And that's pulling that out there where I can get a good push with it. Now you're probably wondering why I have all these wood chips. I get about 2 loads a week. I got a deal with a local arborist, and they're constantly cutting trees and grinding up these wood chips. Now these wood chips here are primarily pine. They are really nice. Now when they do the hardwoods, there's a lot of sticks and stuff that pass through the machine that grinds up the wood, and those sticks can cause clumps and all kinds of stuff. But these pine needles and pine wood chips are really nice, I'll be honest with you. In the past, years ago, I had I'm going to call it a deal with the local zoo, and for 2 years they brought me a load of, I'm just going to call it zoo manure, a load every day. I dug around earlier in some photo albums. I was trying to find some pictures of the zoo manure. Because we pushed it up into piles, and these piles were pretty large. And I've also drug in a lot of horse manure from horse farms. They'll usually give you the manure, you just got to find somebody to haul it. And there's a place called Select Sire. They do something with cattle or bulls, and they end up having a lot of manure. They used to give that away pretty easily, but it's gotten more difficult to get it. So I haven't had any of that in years. But the wood chips, the way I understand it, once these things rot down, they turn into some of the best soil you could possibly want. So what you see here is, because it's winter time, they can't drive out into the field and dump in other locations, so they're dumping here. But there's a tree line over there on the right hand side. Well, actually we're looking at the tree line back there, the pine trees. That's all mulched. I've got so many areas on my property that I've mulched with the wood chips. And the benefit of all this is, by mulching around all those pine trees in the fence row, I don't have to go in there and mow. Now for years, I mowed around each one of those trees, and it seems the older I get, the less I want to spend hours and hours on a mower. I used to really enjoy it, but obviously at my age it's starting to get a little bit old. But over the years, I've gotten better lawn equipment. I've stumbled onto a couple Toro Groundsmasters. They have 72-inch decks, three-cylinder diesels. So they'll mow 72 inches, which is nice. And those were actually pretty good for going around the trees. You could circle around the trees relatively easily. Now, if you see that in the back, you see that it looks like a mound of dirt. Well, it is a mound of dirt. And those railroad ties, that's what we use for a firing range. We like to do a lot of shooting here. And that dirt came from a local store they were building in town, and they needed to get rid of a bunch of dirt. So they were giving the dirt away. You just had to pay for the hauling. So I had several truckloads of that brought in, and I made that mound on the north side of the property, and it acts as a windbreak and a privacy fence. And not like I need privacy out here in the middle of the country. But someday they could build a housing complex behind me. You never know the way things go. But right now, as you can see over top of that mound of dirt, there's just open fields behind me. There's open fields on either side of me. So I'm kind of on a little island here. And it's really nice to have that kind of privacy. I keep leaning my head over in your view there, but I need to verify the height of that bucket. Yeah, right there. I need that 1 inch I was talking about earlier, or 1.5 inches. I can look down at the skid plate on the bucket and just hold it off the mulch about 1 inch or so. And as you can see, it's hard to believe that pile of mulch is going as far as it goes, but it is, and I'm really impressed with this mulch compared to what I've seen in some of the hardwood loads. Now here I'm going on that edge there and trying to push it over a little bit. I'm back dragging here because there's a low spot. And the cool thing about back dragging with that bucket curled, you can actually see what's going on, and that's very beneficial. Over there where you see that blue truck, two-tone blue truck, the bed's a different color blue, that whole area over there is mulched. And you see the building back here to the left, the upper left-hand corner. That whole area over there is all mulched. Coming down the driveway on both sides is mulched around the pine trees. But my goal is to someday have the richest soil in the county. And also it's building the elevation a little bit, which will help with drainage. Not that I have a problem with it, but it's always better to be on the high ground. Those picnic tables you see over there on the left, those were given to me. There was the local fairgrounds had purchased new ones, and they wanted to get rid of the old ones because it's pressure treated wood. I guess there's some kind of EPA thing on all that, so they had to go to the plastic picnic tables, which will probably last forever. But I had to put a few not drywall screws, but deck screws in them and tighten them up here and there. But those picnic tables, I have a big 4th of July party every year, and I can just take the forks and I can grab those picnic tables, pick them up, and set them in the backyard. I used to set up a whole bunch of tables way back. I used to rent tables and all kinds of stuff. But through my Habitat connection, I've acquired quite a few tables and chairs. and we would set those up. But the picnic tables are so fast. I just pick them up at the forks, take them around back where we're going to have the 4th of July party, set them down, and it's a done deal. So it's amazing how over time you figure out ways of doing things better, I should say, or you come across materials that can help you do things better. Now, if you're wondering about that orange Chevy truck, that's my truck. It's an old one, but it's got a 454 in it, and it's a 3500 series. And I replaced the engine about 4 years ago. I bought an engine out of one of them Winnebago looking campers. It had less than 60,000 miles on it, so it's got a really good engine in it. And the transmission was rebuilt a few years back, and obviously for an 88 it's holding up real well. And that blue truck's also an 88, and it's got a 454 in it, and the 454 in it has a 4-speed transmission behind it. The orange truck is an automatic. They're both 3500 series. And those two Mustangs you see over there just beyond the truck, those belong to my son. He's got 460s in those. It's amazing how he turned out to be a Ford man, and he grew up in my house knowing I was a Chevrolet guy. But you know, stuff like that happens. I don't know why he was into Ford so much, but or maybe he doesn't know why I was into Chevy so much, and doesn't really matter. Because like I said in my last video, my next truck will be an EV. It'll be a Tesla Cybertruck, and I'm going to leave mine with the stainless steel. I'm not going to wrap it or do anything like that. There's a lot of construction materials over there that I've picked up from Habitat at a heck of a deal type pricing. I don't like having a lot of junk set around, but that stuff is going to come in handy for a project probably here soon. You can probably see my rocks there too. I got a whole bunch of rocks. I like my rocks, and I've got them placed all through the property. But I'm amazed at how level this is using those good wood chips. When you got the sticks in there, the hardwood stuff, the wood chips are actually bigger because the machine struggles a little bit more trying to mulch that stuff up. And the pine, it just mulches up real fast and easy. I'm going to get another 460 engine and tranny. There's a truck here. The customer doesn't want to fix it. The repairs outvalue the truck, so I'm going to pick that truck up. I don't want to keep the truck, obviously, but I'll pull that engine and that tranny, and I can give it to my son. He's got a 460 in one of those Mustangs. He can put a 460 in the other one. Okay, so we're getting close to the end of the video. I just want to thank you for taking time to check my video out. If you've never seen my channel and you want to look at some of my content, actually just go to my page. I basically call this Operation Country Living because I live on 6 acres out in the country, and I've been here since 1974. So I've owned this property for a lot of years, and I just film the stuff I do around here. Here lately, a lot of my videos have been on woodworking because I'm semi-retired. I still run the automotive repair shop, but I'm not actively involved. I got people doing all that. So it gives me time to go down to my shop, which you can see in some of my other videos, and I can work with wood, which I just enjoy doing that. And I like working with steel too. I like welding and fabricating. Just generally like doing stuff. I keep busy, and that's important when you start getting older. You don't use it, you lose it kind of deal. So I keep myself going that way. Well, anyhow, I can tell by the editing here that it's about to end. If you enjoy my videos, go to my channel, look at some more of them. If you want to help the old man out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And thank you for watching.